Shalom, Yashala. It's Brother Mapak Doc, right? And this is gonna be a quick video going into Yahawashi being that stumbling block, right? Just basically going into it and showing and breaking down what it means that Yahawashi is a stumbling block, right? And before we go into it, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem and Mashiach Yahawashi. That'll be all praises to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world will ignorantly call Jesus Christ, but we know him as Yahawashi, right? So what does it mean that Yahawashi is a stumbling block unto the nation, right? Unto Israel, right? Let's read this precept and get right into it. This Isaiah 8, and we're going to start from 14. I'm going to start from 13. It says, "Sanctify the Lord of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. He shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel," right? For a gin and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, right? So Yahawashi was set up to be a stumbling block, right? A snare and a trap into Israel, right? To some of Israel, right? Some we're gonna get into it, right? And it says, and verse 15, "And many among them shall stumble," right? So Yahawashi caused a lot of men to stumble, right? And when you read through the Gospels, you see it happening constantly with the Pharisees, right? And even today, a lot of brothers and sisters, they stumble. Yahawashi caused them to stumble, right? And it says, "And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken," right? Because through you stumbling over Yahawashi, right, under belief in Yahawashi, Yahawashi's teaching, it caused a lot of brothers to fall, a lot of sisters to fall, and to ultimately be destroyed, man, right? And we're gonna break it down. Well, let's go into another precept real fast. Let's go into Romans 9, right? So this is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 31. And it reads, "But Israel, which follow after the law of righteousness, have not attained to the law of righteousness," right? So you got a lot of Israelites that seek to be justified by the law, but it's not, they couldn't attain it, man, because it's not possible to fully and perfectly keep the law. And you got a lot of brothers today that's even in the so-called truth that'll tell you the Lord wouldn't tell us to do nothing that we can't do, right? We can be perfect through keeping the law, but that's not what it means. What it says, "Be ye therefore perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect," right? Roughly paraphrasing, right? That's not what it's going into. You're going to be made perfect through the sacrifice of Yahawashi, through the blood of Yahawashi. None of us can keep the law perfectly, and that's plain upon tables, right? Even so, you got even brothers in this that's so-called in the truth that Yahawashi Yahawashi is a stumbling block unto them, man, right? In verse 32 it says, "Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith," right? Because a lot of brothers, they don't seek to be justified by their faith. They feel like their fleshly works can justify them in this thing, man, right? And real quick, let me get this in Galatians 3, and then we're gonna go right back, right? So this Galatians 3 and verse 2, right? And it says, I'm gonna start from 1. It says, "O foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you that you should not obey the truth," right? "Before whose eyes Yahawashi HaMashiach have been evidently set forth crucified among you," right? "This only what I learned of you. Receive ye the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith?" So how did you come into this truth? How did you receive the Spirit of the Lord? Was it through the works of the law, right? Your flesh? Or was it through faith, man? Right? Everybody came into this truth through faith. You weren't wearing fringes when you first heard this word and came into this truth. You were probably still eating pork, smoking weed, right? In all matters of folly, right? But through faith, you received the Spirit, right? And it says, verse 3, "Are ye so foolish, having begun in the Spirit, are ye now made perfect by the flesh?" Right? And that could be that's a lot of people in this thing, man, right? They kind of come into this thing through the Spirit, through faith, and now they feel like, oh, we could keep all the laws perfectly, man, right? The teachings and the understanding and belief in Yahawashi, faith, right, grace can be a stumbling block unto a lot of brothers, man, right? So let's go back to Romans 9 and read verse 32 again. And it says, "Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumble at the stumbling stone," right? And brothers that feel like they don't really, and basically you're saying you don't really need Yahawashi. Even if you claim to believe in Yahawashi, when you say you can keep the law perfectly, right? You're basically saying, hey, we don't really need grace because I could do it on my own. You're still in that Pharisee spirit, right? And that's Yahawashi being a stumbling stone and a stumbling block unto you, man. You understand? So don't think Yahawashi is only a stumbling block into Old Testament only, man. It's deeper than that, right? And it says, verse 33, it says, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed, right? So you got to really have full faith in the Lord Yahawashi, man, right? Don't let something that's supposed to be profitable unto you, right, be a stumbling block for you, man, right? And that's the Lord. Right, let's get one more dealing with the stumbling block. Then we're going to kind of get into it. Give a couple examples, right? So this is the book of 1 Peter 2, and we're going to start from verse 3. And it reads, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, right? Yahawashi is gracious, to whom coming as unto a living stone, right? And Yahawashi is a living stone, right? Disallowed indeed of men, right? And when he walked the earth, he was disallowed of men, right? And even today, you understand? But chosen of the Most High and precious. But he was chosen, right? The Most High's only begotten Son. And he's precious, man. Right? And it says, ye also as lively stones are built up in spiritual house, right? And holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable unto the Most High God by Yahawashi HaMashiach. Where also it is contained in the scriptures, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. If you believe truly on Yahawashi, you're not going to be confounded. You understand? Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, right? But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, right? Talking about Yahawashi. And it says, and a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed, right? And on a deeper level, brothers that stumble at the teachings, right, and belief in Yahawashi is because they were appointed to it, man, right? In Job 12:16, the Lord said that the deceived and the deceivers are his, man, right? And then when you go to Isaiah 6:9, right, it tells you, and he said, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9. It reads, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. So some people, they hear the word, but they just can't kind of understand that thing, right? And that's because they were preordained not to understand it, man, right? And it says, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. And hey, you had people that was walking the earth for Yahawashi. They seen all the signs, all the healings, hey, but they just couldn't really perceive what was going on. And their mind is still telling them, this can't be the Son of God, man, right? That's Beelzebub, right? You had people calling him a damn Satan, man, right? Because he was a stumbling block unto them. They just couldn't get it, right? And it says, make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed, right? So the Lord didn't want these men, right, to convert, right? He don't want these men to be saved. That, hey, certain men were preordained to be destroyed, right? But we have to understand that belief in Yahawashi is the only way that you can live, right? You can't come into this thing and be like, man, I'm gonna keep the law mightily, right? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna be justified by my works, man, right? And that's what real quick, let's get this in Luke 18. This is a powerful account, right? This is Luke 18:10. It says, 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. So you had a man that was praying to the Most High, right? And he damn getting on another brother, man, right? Hey, justifying himself by his works. I'm not like this brother. I do more than this brother, right? This brother is a publican, right? He's wicked. You understand? Who are you to pray to the Most High God and get on another brother, right? It says, I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. So now he's boasting in his works. You understand? And it says, and the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes into heaven. Right? So this man was a sinner, man. He ain't even want to look up into the heavens as he prayed. It says, but smote upon his breast, right? So he afflicted himself, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. Right? So he had faith that he could get mercy through Yahawashi. You understand? He had faith in Yahawashi. He had faith in the mercy of the Most High God. And it says, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. So that sinner that believes in Yahawashi and believes that the Most High is going to be gracious unto him. He believes in the blood of Yahawashi. Hey, he was found justified rather than that other man who feel like, hey, I got the best works, right? I keep the law better than this brother, right? I'm gonna be justified by the law, right? The brother that believed in Yahawashi, right? He was justified rather than the other. It says, for everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted, right? So that's a heavy account, right? So let's go into John 6. All right, so don't be like that Pharisee, man. Don't let Yahawashi be a stumbling block unto you, man. Right? You feel like you don't have to believe in him because I'm just gonna be righteous, right? I'm gonna be found righteous through my works, right? You're not saved by works, right? And that's a stumbling block for a lot of brothers, man. Right? A lot of sisters, right? They can't really fully grasp that teaching, right? I can't be saved by my works. Saved through grace. What is he talking about, right? Saved by faith. What is he talking about? But in the law, it says I got to keep the law. I'm going to be put to death, right? They can't they stumbling at the stumbling stone, man, right? They're like, what is Yahawashi? What is he coming and teaching, right? What is Paul talking about, right? That's because, hey, man, that's Yahawashi being that stumbling stone, right? So this is the book of St. John, chapter 6 and verse 47, and it reads, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me have everlasting life. And that's plain, right? You got to believe on Yahawashi to have everlasting life. And you got to have full belief in Yahawashi, man, right? You got to have full belief that Yahawashi sacrifice is enough to get you in the kingdom of heaven, man. You understand? Let's go to, stay in John, but let's go to chapter 3 and verse 36, right? And it reads, he that believeth on the Son have everlasting life. Right, that's plain. If you believe on Yahawashi, you have everlasting life, right? And he that believeth not the Son shall not see life. And if you don't believe on the Son, you're not going to see life, right? And that's how when you read the Gospels, a lot of the Pharisees, they just couldn't get it, right? They doctors of the law, they understand the law, but when Yahawashi came on the scene, they couldn't get it, right? They don't know what he was talking about, man, right? And it says, and that's throughout the Gospels, man, right? And it says, he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. Right? And let's go into some examples, right? Because a lot of these brothers, the thing is, they were carnal men, right? They couldn't understand his teachings because they were carnal, right? They didn't have the spirit. They weren't spiritual men. They were carnal men. Let me get this real quick in 1 Corinthians. Matter of fact, I'm going to get this first. Let's go to John. Let's get an example. So this St. John 3 and verse 3, and it reads, Yahawashi, and this speaking of Nicodemus, right? And he was a Pharisee, but he actually believed in Yahawashi, right? But it says, Yahawashi answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. Now check this out, right? This is showing how Yahawashi can be a stumbling stone to certain brothers, man, right? Because verse 4, it says, Nicodemus saith unto him, how can a man be born when he is old, right? So he's carnal. He didn't even try to perceive it on the spiritual level because he couldn't. You understand? He was a carnal man. It says, can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Right? So he's saying, can a man enter a second time into his mother's womb, man, and be born? He couldn't perceive that Yahawashi was talking about being born again through the Spirit. Right? And it says, verse 5, Yahawashi answered, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High. You see, that's what Yahawashi had kind of break it down to him, right? And it says, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, you must be born again. So Yahawashi said, hey, don't let that bug you out, right? Don't kind of be amazed that I said that you got to be born again. It's spiritual, man, right? Stop thinking so damn carnally, man, right? And that's why Yahawashi is a stumbling block into a lot of brothers and sisters, because they're carnal. You understand? And that's why Paul even said this. Let's get this real quick in 1 Corinthians 3. Right? I'm going to start from the top. 1 Corinthians 3 and 1. And I, brethren, cannot speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, right? Even as unto babes in Yahawashi, right? So it was certain brothers in the church of Corinth that Paul couldn't speak to. He couldn't speak spiritual things unto them, man, right? Because they were too carnally minded. You understand? In verse 2 it says, I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto you were not able to bear it. You understand? Because they wasn't going to be able to bear spiritual, deeper understandings of the scriptures, right? It says, neither yet are ye able, right? And this is a heavy point, verse 3. For ye are yet carnal, for whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions, right? So that's why on the deeper level, a lot of brothers can't get certain understandings because they're still being carnally minded. You understand? They're still jealous of their brothers, right? They still in all matters of carnal things. You understand? They're not really in the spirit, right? They're not walking in the spirit, right? So they're not going to get certain understandings as other brothers, man, right? And it says, and walk as men, right? So you can't be carnal and walk as men in this thing. You understand? Or the spirit ain't gonna really deal with you, man. You understand? And let's get another example. This is a heavy one, and this is actually this one of my favorite accounts. Let's go back to John 6, but we're gonna start from verse 51. And it reads, this is St. John chapter 6 and verse 51, and it reads, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. And this is red letters, so this is Yahawashi speaking, right? He said, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, right? Salakia. So he said, the bread that I will give is my flesh. So the carnal man will hear this and be like, is this man telling us we got to eat off his flesh, right? But we're going to read on. It says, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat, right? So these men are carnal, man, right? How hey man, right? This is just examples of Yahawashi being that stumbling block, a stumbling stone, right? They couldn't perceive certain things. They weren't spiritual men. They were carnal men, right? He said, how can this man give us flesh to eat? So they thinking Yahawashi is telling them to really just come dive on me and kind of just start eating me up, right? That's not what the Lord was going into, man, right? And it says, and just to give the understanding, it's basically just Yahawashi's body representing the bread, his blood representing the wine, right, which represents the doctrine. He just basically saying, eat up my teachings, eat up my word, man. That's all he's saying, man. Yahawashi is the word, right? And it says, verse 53, then Yahawashi said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye shall have no life in you. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood have eternal life, and I will raise him up in the last day. Right? So you got men who really was thinking that Yahawashi was teaching cannibalism, man. Right? But that's folly and madness and vanity, man. Right? You got to be a carnal, foolish man to hear that teaching and say, oh, he wants us to eat up his body. Right? So 55, it says, for my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and I in him. As the living Father hath sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eateth me, even he shall live by me. Right? This is that bread which cometh down from heaven. Not as your fathers did eat manna and are dead, he that eateth of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Right? And I'm reading on because I'm trying to get to this another key point. It says, many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, said, this is an hard saying. Who can hear it? So even people that believed in Yahawashi and was following him everywhere he go, right? Some of them say, hey, this kind of a hard saying. I don't know what's going on. They probably kind of scratching their beard, right? Peeling their bit, ripping their beard off, right? Trying to figure out what is he talking about, right? I don't want to eat of his flesh, right? Isn't that against the law, right? And it says, verse 61, it says, when Yahawashi knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, doeth this offend you? Verse 62, what and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? Right? And it says, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. Right? So you got to be quickened and brought back alive by the spirit. Right? The spirit is what quickeneth, man. Right? The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Right? And the words of God are spiritual, man. Right? They are spirit. You can't perceive certain things that Yahawashi was teaching unless you were in a spiritual state of mind, man. You can't be thinking carnally, right? And it says, verse 64, but there are some of you that believe not, for Yahawashi knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him, right? I'm trying to get to this key point, right? And all right, calm. Verse 65, and it says, and he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father, right? And that's a heavy point as well, right? Because no man could believe in Yahawashi unless the Father put the Spirit on him to believe in Yahawashi. You understand? So that's a heavy point, but this is the key point I want right here. Verse 66. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him, man. Right? So it says at that time, Right after that teaching, many of his disciples, men that were following him and believed in him, believed that he was the Messiah, right? They went back and walked no more with him. So Yahawashi became a stumbling block unto them men, right? So even some brothers that so-called was in the truth and believed in the Lord, hey, Yahawashi can be a stumbling block unto them. Certain teachings they might be like, whoa, 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 what is that talking about, right? What could that possibly be talking about, right? And it says, then said Yahawashi unto the 12, will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered and said, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life. So the Most High put the Spirit on Peter and the other apostles to be like, man, I know what Yahawashi talking about through the Spirit, right? I'm not going to turn my back on the Lord, right? He wasn't a stumbling block unto them, man, right? And it says, verse 69, and we believe and are sure that thou art that Hamashiach, the Son of the living God. And they said, man, we know you the Son of the living God, man, right? Hey, that's a heavy one, right? So let's go to John 2, right? So, hey, you got some brothers in the truth that'll tell you, hey, I don't know, that Paul's teaching, Paul just a man, right? We don't believe fully everything that Paul was talking about, right? Paul's teaching in the New Testament is not inspired by the Most High, right? That's off, man, right? The apostles are going to sit on thrones in the kingdom, man. You understand? Speaking about the 12 apostles, not exactly Paul, but Paul is one of the elect, man, right? And Paul was taught directly by Yahawashi. You understand? So let me get this real quick. Then we go back to John. What was I just thinking about? Salakia. Galatians 1, right? So this is Galatians chapter 1 and verse 1, and it reads, Paul, an apostle, not of men, right? So Paul wasn't taught by men. Paul wasn't brought into this thing by a man. It says, neither by men, but by Yahawashi HaMashiach, and the Most High, the Father, who raised him from the dead. You see that? So Yahawashi was taught directly by Yahawashi and the Father, right through the Spirit, right? So, hey, to say Paul, hey, Paul just a nigga, right? I don't believe everything Paul say. Paul went off. Hey, that's that's off, man, right? And Paul was just teaching things that he was taught by Yahawashi, right? So, hey, that still would be Yahawashi being a stumbling block unto you if you still can't understand certain of the apostles' teachings, man. You understand? Saying the apostles went off, man. Hey, brother, he was taught directly by the Lord, man, right? How could you say that brother was off, right? Let's go to Galatians 1 and 11, right? You can't just say a brother off because you don't fully understand what he's going into, right? And that's Yahawashi being a stumbling block, right? So, you got brothers that say certain of the New Testament books is not the word of the Lord, man, right? So, hey, it's a bunch of madness, right? So, verse 11, it says, but I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after men. So this Paul telling you, hey, I didn't learn this from men, right? In verse 12, it says, for I neither received it of men, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Yahawashi HaMashiach, right? So he just teaching things that he was taught, Salaki was taught, and he got the revelation through Yahawashi, man, right? So how you saying Paul went off, or certain Paul's teachings was off, right? I don't have to listen to that teaching, but I'll listen to this one. That teaching that Paul taught, he went off, and I'm not listening to that, but I'll listen to this one. Hey, brother, he was taught the gospel by Yahawashi, right? So that's Yahawashi being a stumbling block unto you, man, right? Hey, and that's plain, right? I just had to bring that out through the Spirit, because, hey, man, that's folly, man. You got brothers teaching that, man, right? That the apostles was off, right? The apostles didn't really know what they was talking about half of the time, man, right? Hey, you talking about brothers that was taught by the Lord, right? Hey, man, that's pride. That's prideful as hell, man. Right, let's go to John 2. That's prideful as hell, man. Right, so this is the book of St. John, chapter 2 and verse 18. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, right, so let's go back to some examples showing how Yahawashi was a stumbling block unto the Jews when he was walking the earth, right? But I also, through the Spirit, wanted to go into show, like, even how today Yahawashi could be a stumbling block, man. Right, Yahawashi's teachings could be a stumbling block. Right, so this is the book of St. John, chapter 2 and verse 18. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, what sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things? Right, so now the Jews looking for a sign from Yahawashi. In verse 19 it says, Yahawashi answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. So Yahawashi said, all right, hey, destroy this temple, in 3 days I will raise it up. Right, then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? Hey, so these men, they damn lost, man, right? They thinking Yahawashi actually talking about the temple of the Lord, right? The physical temple, right? But check this out. It says, verse 21, but he spake of the temple of his body. Right? He was talking about his body. Because when you go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 16, we understand that the temple of the Lord is our bodies, man. Right? Your body is the temple of the Lord. Yahawashi was speaking about his body, but these carnal men couldn't perceive that. They said, hey, he's threatening to knock down the temple. Right? He didn't know what was going on, man. Right? So this is, I'm going to keep reiterating this. This is Yahawashi being a stumbling block unto these men. You understand? Go to St. John 8. Right? So it's the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 31. That's why it's important to really get into the scriptures, pray for understanding, pray to be guided by the Spirit of the Lord, and don't sit back and just listen to men, right? You got to be like the brothers in Salakia. Let me get the accounts. I believe it's Berea. Yeah, it's Berea. You got to be like the brothers in Berea, right? This Acts chapter 17 and verse 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. Right? You got to search the scriptures daily, man. Sup with Yahawashi. You got a lot of brothers that just hear a teaching from their favorite teacher or their favorite camp, and they take it as true, man. Right? And they start repeating what they heard and just and saying it's the truth, man. You ain't even going to the scriptures. You ain't pray on it, right? You ain't sup with the Lord. You ain't sup with the Spirit. You just taking that man's word for it and say, yeah, I believe that. And you go back and teach it, man. Right? You just repeating what you hear, but you're not really getting the understanding of it. Right? You shouldn't be teaching things that you don't have that you're not at least fully persuaded in your mind that you understand, man. Right? Stop just repeating things that you hear other men say. Right? Let's go back to where was we at? John 8. Now I want to start from 31. So this is the book of St. John, chapter 8 and verse 31. And it reads, then said Yahawashi to those Jews which believed on him. Right? So you had Jews that believed on Yahawashi. Right? If you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. Right? And it says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Right? And it says, and they answer him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye should be made free? So, hey, man, these brothers, they carnally minded. Right? They automatically thinking about, he talking about we in bondage on the carnal level. But Yahawashi was talking about being free from being a servant of sin, man. You understand? On a spiritual level, you're going to be made free spiritually. You understand? But these men automatically went to a carnal level and said, I was never in bondage to any man. Right? So they didn't know what was going on. Right? So this is Yahawashi just being a stumbling block into a lot of brothers through his teachings. Right? They couldn't really believe in him because the Lord didn't give them the spirit to perceive what was going on. Right? Let's go to John 10. And this is especially for them Old Testament only brothers, man. Right? Yahawashi just kind of obliterated them, right? Let's get that real quick. He kind of grind them into powder, right? They condemned already, man. If you don't believe in the Son, you're condemned already. Right? So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 21 and verse 42. And it reads, Yahawashi said unto them, did ye never read in the scriptures? The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner, right? Speaking about the Lord. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof, right? And it says, and that was Yahawashi speaking to the unbelieving Jews, right? And he was talking about the scattered Israelites, the Israelite foreigners. You understand? And it says, that's what he meant when he said, and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. The scattered Israelite foreigners that believed in Yahawashi, right? In verse 44 it says, and whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, right? So if the teachings of Yahawashi, faith in Yahawashi cause you to stumble, and you're going to be broken, right? And it says, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. You see that? And Yahawashi is going to grind certain brothers to powder, man. Meaning utterly destroy them, right? So I want to go back to John 8. I believe let me see. We just read that. Let's go to John 10, right? So there's a lot of examples throughout the Gospels, right? Let's go to John 10 and 30. It says, on this red letter, right? This is Yahawashi speaking. He says, the John 10 and 30, I and my Father are one, right? Meaning they're in the same spirit. Yahawashi only teaching the things that he was given to teach by his Father. He thinks the same way as his Father. You understand? The same spirit that's in his Father is in him. That's what he's saying, right? But check this out. It says, verse 31, Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him, right? So these carnal men, they said, what do you mean he's one with the Father, right? Let's kill him. That's blasphemy, right? They ain't know what was going on. They carnal, right? And it says, verse 32, Yahawashi answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do ye stone me? The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself God. Right? So they were confused. They thinking Yahawashi is making himself one with the Most High, but that's not what he was doing. He just saying, hey, we in the same spirit, right? I and my Father are one, right? We're in the same mind, right? And that's all the Lord was saying. So these men were carnal. They didn't have the spirit of the Lord on them, right? And that's what it all comes back to. Yahawashi is a stumbling block to certain brothers because they don't have the spirit, right? And that's what it all comes back to. They're carnal men. They're not spiritual men, right? Let's bring this out. This 1 Corinthians 2:9, right? And it says, but as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have it entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High have prepared for them that love him, right? But the Most High have revealed them unto us by his Spirit. So certain things got to be revealed unto you by the Spirit, right? For the Spirit searcheth all things, yeah, the deep things of the Most High. You see that? So the Spirit searcheth all things, man, the deep things of the Lord. And it says, for what man knoweth the things of a man, except the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of the Most High knoweth no man but the Spirit of God. So you have to have the Spirit of God to know the things of the Most High, man. Right? You have to have the Spirit of the Most High to know the things of the Most High. Right? That's plain. And that was the problem with these Jews. They didn't have the Spirit, so they couldn't understand certain things. Right? So Yahawashi became a stumbling block unto them because they didn't have the Spirit. They were carnal. Right? And it says, verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of the Most High, that we may know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High. Right? And verse 13, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. So this Paul even telling you, right, that, hey man, I learned these things through the Spirit, right? Just like we read in Galatians, Paul was taught by the Most High and by Yahawashi. Right, it's all through the Spirit. And verse 14 it says, it's a heavy point, right? It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. So a lot of brothers are carnal and natural men. They can't receive the spiritual things of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. You see that in verse 15. For he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. Right? So a lot of brothers can perceive certain things, right? And dealing with what we were just going into with the Pharisees, the Jews, right? They couldn't perceive certain things because they were carnal men, right? So let's go to John 16, and we're going to start from 12. And it reads, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. So this Yahawashi speaking to his disciples, right? He said, I have many things to say unto you, but right now I kind of can't bear them, right? Why not? It says, verse 13, howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth, right? So they needed the Spirit to be able to understand certain things, right? For he should not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come, right? You see that? So they needed the Spirit to be able to understand certain understandings and the things to come, like prophecy, you understand? So let's go to John. So we're gonna kind of eat up John. Let's go to John 7. And verse 16, right? And it says, Yahawashi answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So Yahawashi said, hey, I don't have my own doctrine. I'm just speaking the things that was from my Father, right? And it says, if any man will do his will, he should know of the doctrine, whether it be of the Most High or whether I speak of myself. Right? And it says, he that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory, but he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Right? And there was no unrighteousness in Yahawashi. He was without blemish, right? Without guile. You understand? Right? And he sought the glory of his Father. Right? In verse 19, it says, did not Moses give you the law? Right? And it says, and yet none of you keepeth the law. Why go you about to kill me? Right? So he getting on the Pharisees now. He said, Moses gave y'all the law, and none of y'all even keep the law. Right? Y'all all feel short of the law. Right? Some of y'all hypocrites. Right? And it says, verse 20, the people answered and said, thou hast the devil. Who goeth about to kill thee? Right? So they kind of like, hey, you bugging out. Hey, nobody said they was going to kill you. But they couldn't perceive that Yahawashi was saying, hey, I go about to kill me in the spirit, right? And on a deeper level, Yahawashi knew in the future they was going to deliver him up. And it says, Yahawashi answered and said unto them, I have done one work and ye all marvel, right? I did one thing and y'all all acting crazy, right? And it says, Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers, right? And it says, and ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man, right? It says, if a man on the seventh day receives circumcision, on the Salaki, if a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken, are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? So y'all was like, hey, y'all circumcised brothers on the Sabbath day, but y'all looking down at me because I healed somebody on the Sabbath day? Hey, that's folly and carnal, man. Right? You kind of see your brother get shot in his arm. You like, oh, I will help patch you up and kind of do all this and do that to get you to the hospital, but it's the Sabbath, right? That's being over righteous and foolish and carnal. Hey, if you see your brother kind of messed up, right? You're gonna help heal him. You're not gonna say it's the Sabbath day, I can't help heal you, brother. No, it's good to do well on the Sabbath day. And that's what these Pharisees couldn't understand. They were wicked, carnal men, right? So they was mad at the Lord for healing people on the Sabbath day. And that was the Lord being merciful, right? Yahawashi didn't break the Sabbath. I was talking to a Christian, right, kind of going back and forth with him on Facebook the other day, and he told me that Yahawashi broke the Sabbath. I'm like, do you understand that you're saying that Yahawashi sinned, right? The brother was kind of confounded, right? By you going into this account and saying Yahawashi broke the Sabbath, you're saying Yahawashi is a sinner. And that's you saying, hey, that he wasn't a worthy sacrifice for the nation, man, right? So a lot of brothers, man, Yahawashi is just a stumbling block unto them. They really didn't know what was going on. You understand? But that was just Yahawashi showing the mercy of the Lord, right? Because he came in the same spirit as his father. And the Lord is merciful, right? The Lord had mercy on David when he committed adultery. David was supposed to be put to death according to the law, right? But the Lord had mercy on him. You understand? Because the Lord is merciful. Let's get this real quick. We're going to get a couple more and close out. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 8. And it reads, the Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. Right? So the Lord already had mercy in the Old Testament. A lot of Old Testament only brothers can't kind of perceive what's going on when they hear about mercy in the New Testament, like it's a new thing. The Lord was already merciful in the Old Testament. Right? And it says, verse 9, he will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. He have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. Right? Because if the Lord rewarded us according to our iniquities, hey, the whole earth would be destroyed right now. Right? Because, hey, everybody went off. And it says, for as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. Right? And it says, as far as the east is from the west, so far have he removed our transgressions from us. Right? So that's beautiful. And it says, like as the Father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. Right? So the Lord is merciful. And that's what Yahawashi was doing when he was walking around healing brothers and sisters, man. Right? He was being merciful, right? And the Pharisees couldn't understand that. Right? The Lord even said that, right, in Matthew 23. Let me see if I can find that. Matthew 23 and 23. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy. Right? You see, that's what they omitted the weightier matters of the law. Right? They weren't really dealing with judgment. They wasn't really dealing with mercy. Right? They couldn't understand mercy. And it says, and faith, and they couldn't understand faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. You see that? So just to kind of close out, that's what it's really dealing with when they say Yahawashi is a stumbling block into brothers and sisters in this thing, man. Right? They don't have the spirit. They can't really understand his teachings. Right? So it make them be like, hey, that's not the son of God. I don't believe it. Right? He was a stumbling block unto them. And with the Pharisees, they might have felt like they was on the right path to get in the kingdom. Right? They feel like they're keeping the laws. I'm keeping the law better than these brothers. Right? I'm sitting in Moses' seat. But now Yahawashi come on the scene. Right? And kind of confounding them. And it became a stumbling block unto them. I got to believe in this man. What is this man talking about? Right? I'm better than this man. I thought I was the mightiest in Israel. Right? But now you got Yahawashi lowly, right? And coming and confounding everybody. Right? So he was a stumbling block unto them. And they like, man, I ain't going to believe on that man. And that caused them to be destroyed. You understand? So Lord willing, brothers got the understanding of what it means that Yahawashi was a stumbling block. Right? I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashi. Come Yashala. Shalom Yashala.